Let's go ahead and hop into the rest of the West, and then we'll get into our fan quesos. Am I going way too fast for you guys? Because I feel like I'm cruising right now, all right? Either way, rest of the West. So we'll start with the San Francisco 49ers. It looks like they're paying a lot of attention to the offensive line. Can't fault them for that. Of course, you got to keep Jimmy G. The G in Jimmy G, by the way, stands for glass, because that's what that guy's made out of. He's hurt all the time. So Jimmy Glass, I guess, is, he gets a little bit more protection. Trent Williams signs a $138 million deal for 6 years, $55 million guaranteed. That feels really low to me. That feels to me like this contract gives the 49ers plenty of outs after the first 2 years of this deal. So I fully anticipate, Trent Williams, awesome player. He's going to be there for at least a couple more years. But after that, I don't see him being a 49er for the next 6. I just don't see that happening, and I don't see him making the full $138 million either. The 49ers also have signed center Alex Mack, who did participate in some Cleveland Browns football up there, and he will now be snapping the football to Jimmy G. And I just had this one in there because I thought it was kind of cool. The rumors are saying that Deshaun Watson has 2 teams that he would like to play for, and that is the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. Both of those teams don't work out well for me because I live in Colorado and I am a Rams fan. So that would mean that he would either be on a division rival, or I would have to hear about Broncos fans and them talking about Deshaun Watson and that he's Jesus and the next John Elway all offseason, and that would not be fun for me. It's John Elway syndrome is something that I've given that to the Rams as well, because for a while all the left tackles that the Rams were drafting, we had John Elway syndrome, but it was with Orlando Pace. It was Orlando Pace syndrome. It was, we drafted Alex Barron. This guy's the next Orlando Pace, and it was just not good for anybody. So Deshaun Watson, though, he wants to play for the 49ers. We'll see what happens. Next up, we'll go to the Arizona Cardinals. Have agreed to a 2-year deal with offensive lineman Kelvin Beachum, so he is back. Rumors have had the Cardinals tied to many wide receivers, including guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, but we see today that the Cardinals did make a move and sign wide receiver A.J. Green to a 1-year deal, so did have a down year for the Cincinnati Bengals in 2020, but now he gets a 1-year prove-it deal. He's going to be playing with Kyler Murray and D-Hop out there. So that offense is actually looking pretty scary. I just don't know if all those pieces really fit together. And I realize that that's just talent, and talent goes with talent. You pair talent with talent, and good things usually happen. But is J.J. Watt enough of an addition on that defense to make the defense good? Because that was their weak spot. They're addressing... obviously they address defense with J.J. Watt, but that's it so far that we've seen from this Arizona Cardinals team. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes and if their defense does actually get better, because Vance Joseph, I'm not a fan of Vance Joseph as the defense coordinator out there. So I don't know, guys. Either way, A.J. Green, former Cincinnati Bengal, is now an Arizona Cardinal. It looks like the Cardinals are going for big names but low production, because like A.J. Green's coming off his worst career season. J.J. Watt's coming off his worst career season. So on paper, the signings that the Arizona Cardinals are making sound insane. They sound crazy. And if this was 2016, we'd be looking at this team like, holy crap. But it's not. It's 2021, and this team looks pretty good. Got some big names. We'll see how the production goes on it. Let's go to the Seattle Seahawks now. I put them last because I usually put them first for some reason. I don't know why. But either way, the Bears have signed. This is a disaster for the Bears. I'm gonna put that out there. But it's not necessarily their fault. They got told no by the Seahawks. The Bears, they have signed quarterback Andy Dalton, which makes it very difficult for me to believe that Russell Wilson's on his way out, because it sounded like the Chicago Bears were like the one team that was really going to be making a push for Russell Wilson. Doesn't look like that's the case anymore because of Andy Dalton, so the Red Rocket's going to be out in Chicago launching the ball, and it looks like Russell Wilson will probably, if I had to say today, which is the 17th of March, happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way, guys. I'm recording a podcast. That's how I'm celebrating. You guys can't tell, but okay, I'm not wearing any green, but I am wearing blue and yellow, so use your imagination. All right. Either way, I think the Russell Wilson stays with the Seattle Seahawks now because of that Bears move. But also, it looks like they got told no. The Bears they had a pretty gnarly offer. If you guys have not seen it, I don't remember it exactly. The offer was insane. And honestly, the Seahawks are a little bit stupid for not taking that deal for Russell Wilson. I realize it's Russell Wilson. The rest of the team is pretty garbage right now, though. They don't have a good offensive line. They've got 2 decent wide receiver weapons, one really good one and one solid one. They do have a better tight end now than they had last year in Gerald Everett. But ultimately, man, this team, I felt like that was the Chicago Bears offer for Russell Wilson. That was a great chance for the Seahawks to be like, all right, reset. Let's do this. Let's do this and reset. Let's get another guy. Let's go ahead and move forward like this. Because Russell Wilson's blatantly unhappy in Seattle, so might as well let him go do his thing, get a haul in return for him, and then start to rebuild those pieces. But they said no. Hey, whatever. Reports also say that the Seahawks have shown interest in Sam Darnold, so we'll see what happens. Maybe that's the play. Maybe that's it. Maybe Russell Wilson gets shipped off to the New York Jets. I know that Boy Green would be super stoked about that. If you guys don't know Boy Green, he's the host of the Jet Zone podcast right here on Sports Horror Radio. Great guy. So we'll see what happens there. In other news for the Seahawks, they did extend defensive tackle Poona Ford to a 2-year, $14 million deal. And they are expected, or have now probably officially signed, cornerback Akello Witherspoon. If that name sounds familiar to you, he is formerly a San Francisco 49er. So you got through another clip of Rams Showcase. What I think you should do now is hit the subscribe button. If you've already done that, check out a different video that I know you guys are going to love. But make sure you subscribe. Definitely that, though. Peace, go Rams!